everyone? It's your girl, Lady Florence. Welcome to our podcast, Through Thick and Fit, formerly known as Beginners Competitors Corner. Today, I want to talk to you about if you've always been the big girl. You tell yourself, I'm a big girl. That's just who I am. That's just who I've been. Okay? This is for you. Or maybe now you're a big girl, right? Maybe you were the skinny girl before, or losing weight was easy. You were the fit, but now you find yourself in a different body. And now that is your new identity. And you call yourself the big girl. I'm here to tell you that is a lie. Okay? You are not a big girl. I know exactly how you feel because I've been there. I've said to myself that narrative for almost all my adulthood, to be honest. And this is just the way I was born. At our time, we used to say like big bone. Now, I think the terminology they're using is thick girl, through thick and fit. That's the title of our podcast, and that's the reason why. It's because life goes ups and down. But to go back to what I was saying is that one of the big things that helped me to change my mindset and basically to achieve a transformation, a physical transformation, is that I had to do a mental transformation, a mindset transformation before it could happen in the outside. So what I'm saying to you is that you need to challenge the identity that you have associated with yourself, the name that you call yourself, how you see yourself. Think about it. If you see yourself, identify as a big girl, you are going to identify all the habits, all the eating habits, all the, lifestyle habits associated with that identity. And one of the ways that I was able to change that was to ask myself, is it really true? Is it true? Right? We say some statements about identity, but we never question where it comes from. And then, it was like, wait a minute, that is not true. Because I told myself I was the big girl, right? And when I look back, I was like, that is not true. Like, to be honest, like I was even born like underweight, like I was a premature baby, and yes, I gained some weight afterwards, but that it wasn't true. It's just the nature of my habits, or nature of my habits that led me to have a certain body type. But deep down, that wasn't true. And the reason why I can tell you that it wasn't true, because fast forward to 10 years after, it took me some time, a decade, for me to see the transformation. But after my transformation, I was a bodybuilder. I did 2 bodybuilding shows. No, actually 3 bodybuilding show. For some of them, I've won the overall. And then not only have I done bodybuilding show, but I've been on fitness magazine ads. And I'm not sharing you that to boast and stuff, but I'm just telling you that the person that I was 10 years ago, when I had that narrative that I'm a big girl, could have never imagined that all these things would have taken place, that I would have this transformation. And that only occurred once I started questioning these belief systems, there's different things. And I said, wait a minute, that's a lie. That is not true. And I started to identify myself with who I wanted to be, basically with my future self. So then, because I told myself that is not true, I'm not a big girl, I'm a fit person, I am healthy. Then when I identify with that identity, then I started doing things differently. Sorry for the pen. I started doing things differently. I started to say to myself, well, because I'm a fit girl, because I'm a healthy, how do I eat? How do I train? And I once heard that, being confident or is keeping the promises that you make to yourself, right? And that's even more important in terms of your appearance. And if I say something, do I hold myself accountable to it? Do I see it through? And because that became such an important character, would say philosophy for me to have, then that helped me to meet my goals because I want to be the type of person that said, if I do this, then I actually do it. I want to be that type of person that was congruent with my words and my action. And because that was important in terms of integrity to have with myself, and because my identity has changed to being that I'm an athlete, I'm a fit person, then my behavior naturally changed. So I want you to think about, like, what are you telling yourself? What are you telling yourself what is the lie? What is the lie that you're telling yourself every day? Okay? What is it? This is a limiting belief that you have. Have you ever questioned it? Where does it come from? Why is it comfortable for you to identify as that? What do you get from it? And if you become that other identity, what will you achieve? How will you feel? What will you get from it? And it's okay, like, not all of it may be positive, and that's fine. But I want you to know that if you have always been that big girl, which I know I've called myself that like many times, big bone, right? Big girl. If you've always been that, I want to offer you today want to offer you today to change that identity. Just change that identity. And as you go about your day, now that you have a new identity, now that you say, I'm an athlete, I'm fit, I'm healthy, watch this, how that dictates the behaviors, the decisions that you make. It will be totally different because a person that values their integrity, a person that values the word, that values their health, their fitness, will behave differently than if you're the type of person that says that I'm a big girl. Okay? So remember these steps, right? Write what you say that you are. Then I want you to ask yourself, where does that come from? Question it, challenge it. Say it as a lie, call it out. And then identify whatever that new identity that you want, that you see yourself. Label it, name it, and then identify that new identity, that person that you are now becoming, because it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. How does that person wake up every morning? What does that person eat? What does that person do as lifestyle, activity? Also, how is that person, is that person kind? Not only kind with other people, kind with themselves. Like, do you talk nice to yourself? Do you come from a place of love, acceptance, compassion? Do you have compassion for your own self? Or do you have that negative talk? Like, I don't want you to bash yourself. It has to come from a place when you say that I love myself enough to want to choose better and do better. And After you made that decision, I want you to take an action immediately. Immediately. That's the only way you are going to get that needle moving, is taking action immediately. That's the way that's what I've seen that work for me. Like each time I would get like a new program, I would do a new training, whatever. Like I would start implementing it like right away. Like the latest I would wait is the next day, but I would start planning on how I'm going to do it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And that's most important thing that I want you to know is it doesn't have to be perfect. Like you don't have to get it right away, 100. The most important is to do a step forward. So, hey, hey, you, the athlete. I know you have that athlete in you. I know you're fit. I know you're healthy. I know it's in you. Like it's in you. And you just have to believe it. Okay? So, hope that was helpful. If so, let me know. And we can definitely do more on that topic. Thank you. Remember, learn to know yourself.